So, Serge, this was the dernier from the tour through Holland. First of all, what is this?
Yes, that is ashes. That we call it ashes.
Ashes.
Yeah, ashes. But I don't know if you want to know the material or the symbolic.
Both, the material and the symbolic.
Yeah, because it's ashes. So yeah, for us it's like yeah.
The material is plastic.
No, it's not plastic. It's Teflon. Teflon, you know,
Teflon?
like yeah.
Teflon, but that's dangerous.
Yeah, on the pan, you know, to cook, because you can eat it and then nothing happens. Otherwise, it will be, if it's plastic, it will be too toxic.
Yeah, but in Holland, we say Teflon it's cancer.
No, the Teflon, you know, the pan, what you use to cook,
yes?
Inside there is a black thing.
Yeah,
it's the same material.
Okay, Teflon.
Yeah, then it's not...
Teflon. That's the material and the symbolic?
And then it's ashes. Like for us, it's like the human being finished to burn all the nature, all the environment, vegetables, and then they're fighting around with gold. It's, you know.
And this?
Yeah, it's, there is so ashes and golden mountain. So, and then people, human being fighting around.
Human being fighting for the golden mountain.
I mean, not around it, is there?
Yeah. And that golden mountain, because we see it, it's also a symbolic.
Yeah. It's a symbolic of a lot of things. We put it there because the human, we agreed to have everything for mine, and then you stay there for capitalism, for also one of the main thing is in West Africa now, there is a lot, the gold mining. The gold is really like the ground is, and then all this terrorism also is happening because the gold.
So they discovered new gold mines. They discovered new gold mines in 2012.
Yeah.
And now there is a lot of terrorism happening around us.
Yeah, because there is and the terrorism is happening also around everywhere that there is this gold. And then also when you see in Mali, also in the north of Mali, it's the same problem with gold. And then there is this fighting with French soldiers there, and then, I mean, it's really complicated. So it's like every war is not only what you see that is real. There is also a lot of underground.
And it is also happening in your the country where you were born. In
Burkina Faso. Yeah, actually, where there is a terrorism now in West Africa is globally the same area. You know, like the north of Mali, north of Burkina Faso, also west of Niger, because it's a little bit of like a desert, and then the ground is really rich. There is a lot of minerals there, so that's why everything is happening there. It's not only Islamism. It's not really even that.
Because we also see 3 times a suicide bomber, more or less.
Yeah, it's even 4 times. Yeah.
4 times.
Where do we miss that?
Yeah.
I didn't see 4 times.
Yeah.
In the beginning?
In the beginning.
In the middle?
And then in the middle there was a girl with it 1 time, and then the guy come again when she was talking here, and then at the end.
Ah, when she was talking there. Yeah. And at the end. But she was talking she was shouting to Vladimir Putin.
I don't know.
She said Vladimir Putin.
Putin.
That's what you hear. I don't know.
Did you hear it, Violien? Yes. What did you saw this evening on Wakatt? What is your experience?
Well, what I saw is actually a lot of chaos, a lot of abuse, a lot of harshness, a lot of wrestling. That is mainly what I saw, and also I saw people never giving up. which I think it's very characteristic for maybe your work as well, but also in this piece, although there's a lot and enough to be desperate about in the end, like not even the mine, not even just the mining, but everything what is happening when also the terrorist comes in and the self-suicide and all that kind of suicide of all that kind of problems. So I think there's so much what you see, which is very dangerous and creates chaos and pain and everything, and yet sometimes there's hope. And
I think you said it. The hope is never giving up, because we give up so easily, and also how can we be more involved and engaged to what's happening in the world. Like that's something that's kind of really important for me as an artist, how to not sit and look what's happening in the world and then just commenting in your couch, but there is a lot that you can do. Yeah, and then when you, before we saw like this destruction of Syria and Iraq, we look it from far, and suddenly everybody was in the Europe door, and then we wanted to close everything because we don't want to be involved on that, but actually we were part of it there. And then the same thing, we're like, okay, Zelensky, yeah, go for it, and then the guy went for it, and then everybody is looking at him. He's just trying to be not, I mean, it's, hola. What is interesting? Yeah, the Apple Watch.
So. Yeah, and Apple is controlling you.
Yeah.
She said, yeah. Watch out. This is connected to Apple, eh?
Yeah, it's true, actually. Yeah, so in almost every work that I do, actually, this is really something important to be connected to the reality of our life, you know. And now, for example, Wakatt, we created in the middle of lockdown, you know, like we start to create, and then the lockdown comes, we stop, and then when they open, like for 3-4 months, we create the piece. So the piece have also the taste of this lockdown, you know, this violence, this really hard being, and then everything that's happening, and also. When we started this tour in Holland, we just started just after the invasion of Ukraine. Mm-hmm. So to be touring with a piece called Wakatt, Our Time, This Time, and then not connected to the reality was not interesting for me. That's why we put references of what's going on now.
And Wakatt means our time in the Jula.
In the Jula, yeah, my mother tongue. Yeah.
That's your native language?
Yeah.
And that is spoken in Burkina Faso?
Actually, Jula is spoken in Mali, in Burkina Faso, in Ivory Coast, in Guinea, in Senegal, in Gambia, in Sierra Leone. Yeah. No, actually, that's what a lot of people don't know is Jula or Bamana or Mandenka is one of the biggest language group in West Africa. So really, that's why it's like 8 countries who could understand this language. But then with the colonization, we cut. Otherwise, it will be one of biggest language, but it's cut in the middle of everything. You know, the people went like that, and then try to communicate with another country. And then, so that's one of the biggest problem also in in West Africa, actually.
And
But
in your performance, because you create partly in Brussels, your
Yeah.
company is partly in Brussels
Yeah.
and partly in Burkina Faso,
Yeah.
and your performers are also from West Africa, most of them.
mostly for West Africa and also Central. There is 2 Cameroon, and one from Congo.
And is it, because you grow up in Burkina Faso, is it easy to become a professional dancer in Burkina Faso?
Oh, even here is not easy.
Even not in Europe, okay, but
No,
because it's one of the poorest
No,
countries of the world.
actually, the question is important because being a professional dancer in Burkina Faso, or let's say even in West Africa in general, is a really commitment. You need to dedicate your life for it. You need to love it till you can give your life for it. Otherwise, you will not arrive anywhere. Because we have too much priority in the life there. Like, when people get up, maybe the electricity is going to cut soon, maybe water, you are not sure that you're going to have. Like, everything is a priority in our life. Then if you decide to be a dancer, and professional dancer, so that means if you want people to connect to your work, you need to propose something that is bigger than, not bigger, but it can enter in the vein of people, that people can connect to it, can connect but deeply, and not only in the just dancing, but more, they can...
You mean on an emotional level, maybe?
Yeah.
Because that is what I see also in your piece and your work in general. It's always, there's so much emotion in there, and it reaches the audience, I guess, well, at least me, on that level.
Yeah, maybe we can ask if there is anyone who wants to say something or will have a connection with the work, or maybe have a question. Is there anyone who wants to reflect? Without passion, you can do what he does, of course.
Yeah.
The passion of the heart.
Yeah.
And I have a question, because we saw also a figure in the hairy costume. That's also a symbol.
Yeah.
Can you explain a little?
Actually, I was... it's really spiritual also, because I thought we can ask some other figure to come to help us to make the change, to make a change in our mind, in people. Like, so actually the first figure that come is the mask, the white. So it's a real mask from Burkina Faso, from the west of Burkina Faso.
Is it from a ceremony or something?
Yeah, it's from ceremony, but this white, this kind of a mask come out when when you see it coming out, it's because there is a problem. And then it's coming to to change something in the mind of people, on the being of people.
So
when
to change the perspective?
Yeah, to change the perspective.
On the problem.
Yeah. So
it's used in daily life.
Exactly. It's live every year. Every year you have this coming out at certain point in some area of a country. So in the beginning, even when I didn't, because I asked people there if I could use it, and then I was not sure if, you can take some real, but for me, here is real. Is being on stage every day is real. And then I have a feeling that we can help to bring some energy, to change something also in the daily life. Even sometimes I know that is a utopic idea, is a bit being sometimes idealist and naive, but that's helped me to continue to create and then to do the work that I'm doing.
And what did they say when you asked, can I use this figure from daily life in Burkina Faso to use it on stage in a performance? What did they say?
No, actually they say why you want to do it. And then you say why you want to do it. And then it's like, okay. But of course, it's not like the really ceremony thing, because it's a kind of
Ritual?
a twist. No, it's a remake of a real one.
Remake.
Yeah,
Yes,
of a real one. And and then there is, if you are really honest with it, and also people know there the kind of work I do, because most of the time the work is really connected to the reality of people, so they get it faster. So yeah, and also we had another figure like is a giant that we have. That's also is the inspiration of some a death goddess.
The goddess?
Yeah, the goddess of death. Yeah, yeah.
The death?
The death, la mort.
La mort. Because she's ending up on the golden mine, but then it's black mine.
Yeah, then it's also covering also it. Yes, it's also to look at each other, try to connect. Yeah, not only this. Yeah.
And Violien, you're a part of the Explore Festival. You just choose these performances to bring it to Holland. Is this different perspective, Serge Aimé describes, to solve problems with a figure, to have a death goddess? Is that also reason to bring such a perspectives to Holland?
What we want to do by bringing Explore performances within the Explore Festival, we want to present performances non-Western, from non-Western countries, from the southern part of the world half. And we are looking for perspectives that are also in the country itself, that are made by artists that are working in the frontiers, in the front lines, as being also very engaged and being developing and innovative in their country as well. But when bringing them here, when presenting it here in Holland, for instance, it should still work. It should still be able to connect, to tell the message, whatever it is. And maybe we don't understand exactly what, as we don't know this symbolic, we don't know exactly the meaning of the symbol, but we do capture something. So as Explore Festival, we are looking for that kind of performances, and I think with the work of Serge Aimé Coulibaly, there is always a connection. And also because you're from Ouagadougou, you're from Burkina Faso, but you work as well also here, and actually you are in many different ways, you're connected to a lot of parts in the world. And
so you don't have to understand everything. You don't have to understand everything.
No, definitely not. I don't understand everything, for sure not. And I don't need it, I think.
If does anyone want to have a question or? No? No. Yes?
Hi. Oh, yeah. I'm very curious how did you started it? How did you started rehearsing with your performance? Because is there a lot of movements from them? And I see every dancer like an individual. You created the kind of personage, or but sometimes they were the group, but I saw different kind of personalities in it, and of course because they are different people. But how did the rehearsal going? Did you say, okay, no, I want to do this move, that move, or how did you?
Yeah. It's I say we have quite often this kind of question because because it's true what you're saying, and also because it's what also I'm looking for actually in general on a dancer. When I met, usually I never do audition, like because I travel a lot inside Africa or different places. I see dancers, and then I'm interested in something, but then most of the time they are good dancer, and then there is something that I need to connect with it with the others, and then we do. And also, I say I don't choreograph dance. I choreograph human being. And then the thing is that these human beings, they are dancers who sometimes have a good level of dance. And then, but of course, in the process, there is a lot of improvisation from them. But I mean, I ask question. For example, for this piece, the first day we arrive in the studio, I ask them, okay, what do you think is urgent to express, to say today for you? What is urgent? What is important to express? And then they all come with their own thing. So we have some of this improvisation result in the piece already. But one thing that I do a lot of research in general. All the work I do is like a 2 years research. It's like reading, videos, a lot of things like that. And then, so I have like pages of ideas of things. But then when we arrive, everybody together, I share everything. Like, okay, we look at the video, we can spend 1 week dancing sometime, but looking video, discussing why that touched me, why we are doing that. And then this book, this part, we read it because this picture, so we have a lot of, so it's really documentation. And then after, it's a lot of improvisation, but because we discuss about all this situation that touch me, that the result of improvisation will be close to what I'm looking for. And of course, I'm gonna choose what touch me as a creator, as a choreographer. Like, and then what I think I want to share with the audience. And then, so it's really a kind of a collaborative work. It's, and also,
like the Che Guevara, the dancer with the Che Guevara shirt.
Yeah,
He is shouting in the beginning, and he's also laughing. Is that his own improvisation?
That come, for example, that, for example, I didn't have this scene when we entered the studio, I didn't have this scene. But because a lot of time I have already the scenes, you know, like I write them, and then we improvise to find the right angle. But this one exactly came from, what do you think is important to say today? And then he start to, in the beginning, he used to nous sommes dans la merde, and then
Nous sommes
dans la merde, we are in the shit. And then he will say 1,000 times and screaming and hurting everybody. But that came because after the lockdown, you know, like, so, and then, but it was so moving because we knew it was so real that then, like, okay, maybe that's, then we start to work with it, and then it's not exactly what it was in the beginning, but yeah, then.
So now you describe the creating process, but then we have the musicians, because the music is also a big part of the performance.
Completely. The music is half of the performance, actually. The other half is really the music. And then, actually, the music is also very, very, very important for me. When I have even an idea to create a piece, I'm like, what kind of, it's like an idea, music, and dance and music. They go together for me. It's not even a separation. There is and then here I wanted some music, like a kind of surprising music, that music that could be also put, it's like a futuristic music, but at the same time driving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's Majid Malik?
Yeah, Majid Malik is the creator of the music, and the flute guy is Majid Malik. Is the one.
But is it improvisation?
No, everything is written.
Ah, everything is written.
Yeah, it's like a dance. In the beginning, they're moving everywhere. They're doing like this kind of thing. Everything is written. It's not if you come another time. It's
everything in the The choreography is
we,
written?
we dance. Of course, you're going to have something more in the detail, but everything is written. It's not, is one of the more difficult things that for dancer that we try to do. Because for me also, it's not only solving problem or doing thing, is what we can bring inside the contemporary dance, inside the contemporary creation, what we can add. So we spend so many time to look for this kind of vocabulary where it's like you empty everything, just the humanity stay with your being, you know? So, and it's really hard.
But I saw a registration, a recording film of the show, but then there were two dancers who has broken arms.
Yes.
And they were dancing.
Yeah.
With gips. We call that gips, kalk.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, with,
Is it so dangerous?
yeah, because they give everything.
Yes, because, of course, but all professional dancers give
Yes,
everything.
but at the same time, you know, like when you push somebody down, today, you know, it can be okay, and then you just need a little thing, and then it can be, for example, one of it, but I'm giving explanation, but actually the one girl, Marion, is the one in rose dress,
The rose,
pink dress. Yes. Marion, she was one of who broke her finger, but that was really a stupid thing. He just a balloon, warming up, throwing the balloon, and then the balloon.
Oh, so it was an accident.
So it was just nothing to do with the performance. And then the other one was, that was the premiere, the day of the premiere. He was dancing, and then he put, you know, he went behind, and then his one finger in the premiere.
So it's not so Teflon, not so very Teflon. That's so easy to dance on.
So that was no luck.
No luck, but they danced, eh?
Yeah.
Are there some more questions? Or upstairs on the balcony? No? Violien, you want to say something about Wakatt?
What I wanted to add, what I saw also, and when you were talking about the music, what I think is so magnificent actually about the musicians, but also about the combination, is that you travel around the world with the musicians, and they switched quite easily from something kind of classical to jazz to African sounds. At least that's what I picked up from it, and I thought that was wonderful to take us within the piece. I found that was very well done, actually. Yeah.
And one of my last questions is: you said also Wakatt is also about the black identity.
Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit that? Because you said it's also about not the anger, but also that we are afraid sometimes of the other one, of the one we don't know.
Yeah. For sure, we have this scene in the inside that we call rencontre impossible. Donc, impossible meeting.
Meeting impossible.
Meeting impossible. And then because a lot of time we see the person like that. Actually, if you go deeper, you're gonna realize that you are really close. But you only look at the color. You only look at, African, Africa, ta. You went to your brain in somewhere in your Africa. But you don't look the guy. And then the guy actually is more close, is more Dutch than what African, for example, is, more, and then you have the same dream. You want to eat the same thing. You want this, we are really, but because we don't go much more, we are looking the surface all the time. That's also what
we're just looking to the color, to the surface, and we don't looking behind what the person is behind.
Actually, for example, if you see, like last year there is more than 23,000 people who die on the Mediterranean trying to come here, running for terrorism, running for everything. But it touched almost nobody. It's like because they don't look like us because we don't feel connected. Because we are like, okay, I have these black people. I'm being bad. But we feel we are far from that thing. And then we see Ukraine now, everybody feel connected because it look like us. I mean, I'm not white, but
we recognize each
other. We recognize something. And then because when we know more something, we are more touched by this thing. And then when we can we can put ourselves in that place, the place of a person. Then we feel more connected, and then we are more aware, and then we want to help, and then we want to do something, and then we can want to change. But when we don't feel connected, we don't. Then I mean, you know, thousands of Africans can die on the Mediterranean. I mean, nothing's gonna change. But things start to change when you feel like, oh, I know the person. I recognize this humanity. So that's why in the work that I do, I'm talking always about this humanity, because with the humanity, you can connect to the other person. You can connect in your humanity, not in your Africanness, but with your just emptiness of being me. Just I can connect to this lady there with vocabulary. So that's one thing, because I live in some apartment in Brussels. I'm the only black man in 9 apartments.
Only black man?
Only black. The only black.
You are the only black
I am the only black. See, I know, I'm sure 100% that I travel the world more than everybody of this, because I'm always traveling. Sometimes I do 2 times 5 continents, you know. So, and then they find, one day I wake up and then I see some rubbish on front of my door, because they find it in courtyard, and then they thought, okay, it's a black guy who put it outside there.
So they saw that you throw the rubbish.
Yeah, and I put it in front of the door. Then I went to knock everywhere to find who put it, but I couldn't find. But one thing also is like, when I was sitting on my desk, because I have an office in the apartment, I was working all the morning in my laptop, and then after I went out, and then the neighbor called me and said like, oh, can you not play djembe?
They saw that you was playing djembe on the...
Yeah, because I was hearing some drum somewhere, but it was somewhere. But the only African is that. So one thing I did with these neighbors, one thing, we was playing in Théâtre National in Brussels, and then I wrote a mail to all of them, said, can you come to see what I do? And then it's a piece, we are performing. Théâtre National, they were surprised because they didn't know. So they come to see, and then I was like, then after the dance, we have a party. So I invite them again in the party, and then they were talking to the dancer, and then they feel like, suddenly, there was somebody else, because when you see me coming out, hey, Mr. Coulibaly, where are you going again? Where is that? So they feel more connected to me, because they know more me, they know, because it's not the African, it's a Serge Aimé is here.
Not Serge Aimé, and not only the African boy who is playing djembe and who is throwing his rubbish. Okay. Thank you very much on this dernière from Wakatt in the tour to Holland. Thank you very much to Violien. Thank you very much to Serge Aimé. Have a good tour in France, because you're traveling to France now, I heard. Yes. And see you next time, maybe in Explore, maybe in Schietmacher. Thank you for listening, and see you next time in Schietmacher.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Violien. Merci.